Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So Scott Melker here pointing this out with regards to the Bitcoin chart back home at $42,000. Key areas at this point are 39,006, 42,000, 52,000 to 53,000, and so on. But above 42,000 puts price right back in the higher range, which is a big deal. So he's posting this chart here. Of course, guys, we did see that Bitcoin pop over the weekend. Today is Sunday, February the 6th. We are seeing that Bitcoin pop, and we are also seeing Bitcoin consolidating under resistance. So this is coming from Jordan Lindsay here. Bitcoin consolidating under resistance is, say it with me now, bullish. So this is indicating that Bitcoin price is going to continue to rise. Right now, Bitcoin trading at $41,800. And on the daily, you guys can see today, we are forming another bullish candlestick. Yesterday's candlestick ended up in the red, however, not terribly bearish. Kind of indecisive in my opinion, but today's so far starting in green and throwing that on the hourly. You guys can see consolidation here under that level of resistance. This is going to be bullish for Bitcoin price. Throwing it back here, actually, let me throw it on the 4 hour for a second. You guys can see it good here on the 4 hour. Bitcoin finding support, similar to where it found support here, similar to where it found support here before moving up, right? And so it is finding support right in here, but the resistance level that it is underneath is right in and around here. And of course, this is going to be a zone. So anywhere between 42, let's say, and $44,000. But that is going to be critical. We need to get up above this level here, and then I think it's off to the races for Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin back on the daily. If we see Bitcoin go up to the 0.702, and this might take a while, let's not forget, we might see, this is not going to happen within, or it may, but chances are it's not going to happen in the next month or 2 months. We are likely going to see this trend do something like this. This is what I think. We're going to see it kind of meander, maybe find support in here, and then go up above and maybe find support in here, and up and down and up and down and up and down. Who knows how long it is going to take? But once it reaches the 0.702, this is the point, guys. This is the point that we have to eye very, very closely. If altcoins rally in and around this time, and I mean rally hard, I don't mean commensurate with Bitcoin's rally. That means investors are taking money out of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency and pouring them into altcoins. However, my thought, and I've been thinking about this more and more over the last several months, my thought we are going to see a prolonged Bitcoin rally, because usually what happens during an alt season, we see a very, very sharp increase for Bitcoin, and that's the time, right? It only took 3 weeks in the last bull run for that to occur, Bitcoin to reach the 0.702 before that huge drop. But we're seeing something different in this bull run, which makes me think we're not at the top yet. A prolonged Bitcoin retracement, we will still have to see what it does at the 0.702. My thought, though, is that if it does take this long to correct, that we will eventually see altcoins go along with it. If Bitcoin rallies about 10-15%, we'll likely see altcoins rally the same amount. And then we'll just have to wait and see. I have a feeling Bitcoin's going to make new all-time highs. There's a lot of reasons for that. Right now, we're still trading on very, very low volume for Bitcoin. But anyway, some great observations here from Jordan Lindsay and the Wolf of All Streets, Scott Melker. We also got this, guys, and this is part of the point. XRP has spiked 15.3% alongside Bitcoin's rally. This article, however, not so much about the price, but about the XRP movement that we're witnessing on the XRPL. So 70 million XRP gets moved to Ripple's ODL corridors. Right down here, prominent blockchain tracker Whale Alert that shares details on large crypto transactions via their Twitter account has posted 3 tweets with details on large XRP transactions. 2 of them were made by Ripple ODL partner platforms. As XRP price has increased over 15%, crypto market players started to transfer large amounts of this leading digital currency. Whale Alert spotted 3 transactions, 2 carrying 20 million XRP, while 1 transferring 30 million XRP. The earlier transfer, and so that would be the 30 million XRP transfer, was made by leading South Korean cryptocurrency exchange Bithumb between its wallets. According to Whale Alert data, this platform often conducts large internal XRP transfers. So we are still seeing large amounts of XRP being transferred through these ODL partners, Bitso, Bitstamp, just to name a couple. Bitso, for example, is based in Mexico, while Bitstamp is located in Luxembourg. So we are seeing XRP move across the network, of course, for ODL payments in those specific corridors. The world, less the United States, right now runs on Ripple, and Ripple eventually will make that better one day. The lawyers are in court right now fighting this lawsuit, and if we are to have our way, the world will be running on XRP, including the United States. So we are seeing these transfers. Of course, XRP price just rallying based on the spec market, as we're seeing all cryptocurrencies rally at this moment in time. And so guys, I got to bring this up every now and then. Mr. Poole tweeted this out over a year ago now, back in January of 2021. I originally thought this tweet was from 2022, but then I looked at it again, and it was January 17th, 2021. Poole Proof posts Kang Space here on Twitter. And take a look at that. So this image here from the Mr. Poole tweet, the dollar disintegrating, is the same image here from this Forbes article that was just posted by Forbes on February 3rd, which was only 3 days ago. And the headline here, Jump Crypto fronts $325 million in stolen crypto one day after Solana's biggest hack ever. So is Poole telling us something with regards to crypto security, crypto exchanges being hacked? And is there a deeper message here? Well, the top line of this article, digital assets from Jump Crypto, said Thursday it replaced the $325 million worth of tokens allegedly stolen from its portfolio company Wormhole Portal, a platform that helps users transfer cryptocurrency between the Solana and Ethereum blockchains, in one of the biggest hacks ever to hit the booming and largely unregulated decentralized finance space. That in itself, I think, tells us a lot. The fact that Forbes is stating this hack is occurring in the largely unregulated crypto finance space. They're talking about decentralized finance here. We know in government, they are really trying to crack down on DeFi. I'm putting those dots together here. Jump Crypto and cryptocurrency-focused investment arm of quant trading firm Jump Trading, which has raised more than $700 million in capital, tweeted Thursday afternoon that it had replaced 120,000 stolen Ethereum-based tokens to make community members whole and support Wormhole, but provided no further details about the bailout. So, I mean, I will link this article in the description if you guys are interested. You can also find it here in this tweet thread, which I will also link in the description. Mr. Poole has been spot on with so many of his predictions. So, I mean, I gotta wonder, does this have to do with what we are likely going to see coming down the pipe with regards to perhaps cryptocurrency adoption in the US? You know, we're pointing to this, even though it does not relate to Ripple and XRP specifically, but Solana's biggest hack ever, $325 million in cryptocurrency, and then they say allegedly stolen, which is kind of suspect. The author of the article isn't even buying it 100%, stolen from 1 billion decentralized finance platform. So interesting to say the least. Another Mr. Poole prediction from over a year ago coming to fruition. This, of course, all has to do with regulatory clarity, right? Criticizing decentralized finance, which we know the SEC and Gary Gensler in particular has been going after with their latest proposal. And so Tag XRP posted this as well. If John Deaton was able to obtain Grunfest's letter to Jay Clayton, which disclosed his concern that suing Ripple and XRP was a threat to national security, one of the worst things possible, in my opinion, just imagine what's in the docs they refuse to turn over. And so he's retweeting out Digital Asset Buy's tweet down here from Christmas Eve 2021. From Joseph Grunfest, letter to Jay Clayton's SEC warning about the national security issue, so China, of suing Ripple. This is not going to end well for those involved. I did a video on Joseph Grunfest, I believe it was last year, if I'm not mistaken. I'll see if I can dig it up. There's going to be more information in that video, and I'll link it up here in the top right-hand corner. Just wanted to touch on this today because it ties in with what I'm going to talk about next. But this, first of all, here's the letter. National security considerations are also at stake. So this is the letter from former SEC chairman Grunfest to Jay Clayton before the Ripple lawsuit, almost like a consultation. Correspondence from the United States Senate to the Director of National Intelligence and to National Security Advisor regarding national security concerns arising from Chinese control over Bitcoin and Ethereum underscore the benefits of measured interagency coordination regarding matters implicated by the contemplated proceedings. The Director of National Intelligence has also reportedly written directly to the Commissioner's chair regarding this issue and has offered the chair of briefing on the threat to national security posed by the dominance of Bitcoin and Ether with no effective US-based competition. The red flag raised by national security authorities is further cause for coordinated decision-making with the incoming chair and administration. So Grunfest was warning Jay Clayton about this before Jay Clayton decided to make the decision and sue Ripple the day before he decided to leave the SEC. Then John Deaton posts this on December 28th, a mass exodus of every senior staffer responsible for a major enforcement decision with broad policy implications is, to my knowledge, unprecedented in agency history. It raises obvious concerns. And he's quoting Joseph Grunfest again. And then Tag XRP also tweeting this out, 9 months of fighting from John Deaton, retweeting out John Deaton's tweet. I fought the SEC for 9 months pursuant to the FOIA request. I've attached it for your convenience. As you read the letter from former SEC Commissioner Joe Grunfest, you should be aware he's one of the most respected commissioners in SEC history. The tweet thread goes on, and so I will link this in the description if you guys want to get more context to this. And check out that video that I posted in the top right-hand corner with Joseph Grunfest. Again, I did talk about this, I believe it was last year or the year before. All things that make you go, why wouldn't Jay Clayton take his advice? Well, I mean, does Ripple even need the US? I mean, they have been building out and, fostering more XRPL adoption. This is just another example. Vitalik Buterin posted this on January 7th. My argument for why the future will be multi-chain, but it will not be cross-chain. There are fundamental limits to the security of bridges that hop across multiple zones of sovereignty, and he gives some information about that. But Mickey B. Fresh responding to that just the other day, Flare Networks is at stage of launching a breakthrough design to solve all weaknesses of oracles faced by rewards with native token rewards instead of proof-of-stake validators. Proof-of-stake layer 1s limit the ability to do what Flare State Connector System and Time Series Oracle protocols to copy. And so he just gives some screen grabs here just demonstrating what Flare is improving their network. Flare Oracles acts as an inflation mechanism for the network, rewarding Spark token holders, and that acts as an economical incentive for Spark token holders to act honestly. Down here, crucially, it transfers value from people who do not participate in the system or who participate in a malicious fashion to people who provide utility to the network. And just a description here, a flowchart just demonstrating that. So all my point is here, just more XRP utility. The XRPL still being utilized worldwide. Companies like the Flare Networks are building on it. Ripple has been also fostering development on the XRPL through their, which was once called the Spring Initiative, is now called Ripple X. We are seeing their ODL product being utilized around the world. This is why we're still seeing lots of XRP being moved, as I had mentioned earlier in this video. And so it almost makes you think, is the US government purposely trying to sabotage Ripple and XRP so that the US is not going to be able to compete? But why would they do that? Why would they do that unless, in my opinion, and so I see the connection this way, unless they are just complying and are pawns to a global reset? We have to understand this, guys. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but we have to understand this from a broad perspective. The financial system is basically effed, okay? There's no turning back. The powers that be, the people that run it, central bankers, they all know this. And so they are trying to find ways to bring it down, crumble it to the ground before they begin building it back up. And so Ripple and XRP, they are going to be central to this, but not before the huge collapse of the financial system occurs. And governments that have been captured by Klaus Schwab's agenda, they've been trying to implement ways to crush the financial system. One mechanism is printing an unlimited amount of money, hyperinflation, make the people poor. This is one way that they're doing it. There are many other ways. And Chris Larson, in a recent interview, was also kind of wondering, why the heck is this happening? I don't know if this was sincere, but listen to what he has to say.
Rank now, it's probably 10th. And the risk there is you do have the talent here. You do have these incredible capital markets all the way from seed to public and beyond. All the same stuff we have with the internet that led to success. The missing ingredient is this framework of sort of clear and consistent. We don't have that yet. And that's got to come from the top. So you kind of hope that the Biden administration is going to see that we haven't slipped behind in a fatal way yet. But, oh, man, if we are taking that for granted, we are in big trouble. So we've got to get our act together. And again, many of those 8 federal regulators are phenomenal, right? I would say Treasury, FinCEN at this point. And you would have thought FinCEN in the early days that's what everybody was afraid of, right? How are they going to look at crypto, right? They've been great, actually. And they've been working on some very sophisticated things around working with the industry, for example, on crypto and the prevention of child sexual abuse material. They make great strides and they work well with the industry. And they're actually solving what potentially could have been a problem. I think that problem's getting solved. So all great. The Federal Reserve has worked really well in these areas for a long time. They've always been great. CFTC, I think, has been terrific. You could go on and on and on. I think the one area that has been really problematic for the U.S., no surprise I'm going to say this, but the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. I know that it's a tough job. I know that they are well-intentioned in protecting folks. But again, it's got to be both protecting folks and fostering innovation. Otherwise, we are going to lose this one. If we lose this one, that is a huge blow to the country. It's a huge blow to Americans. All those issues we talked about finally getting the advantage of globalization, I think that goes out the window if all these innovators are going to Singapore and the UK, or even more concerning, are going to be run by the other very successful internet powerhouse, which is China. And they are way ahead of us. So we have got to start taking this seriously. And that has to mean that the SEC gives clarity, and clarity in both protecting consumers and fostering innovation. It's got to be both of those things. And it's got to be consistent and fair, frankly. And we haven't had that yet. And I'm hoping that we do get that.
Here we have Chris Larsen talking about the other regulatory bodies. He names a few: FinCEN, the CFTC, the Fed, and he says, we've been happy with all these bodies. The only one we're not really happy with, surprise, surprise, is the SEC for obvious reasons. And he's also mentioning, this threat that the US is going to fall behind China. He sounds sincere in his response. Why is the government doing this? Why did Jay Clayton not listen to Joseph Grunfest? So some interesting observations here. However, on the flip side of this, if Chris Larsen knows that XRP is going to be utilized in a grand financial system, he knows the plan, or at least I would assume he knows the plan. Is he just paying the American people lip service to what they want to hear? Okay, meanwhile, in the rest of the world, we have, articles like this coming out, El Salvador's Bitcoin experiment. This from Michael at Val5 Links. I've talked about this quite a bit. Does the IMF have a hidden script for El Salvador's Bitcoin play? And I've talked about this even before Cointelegraph reported on this. And now they're speculating on why the IMF is so down on the El Salvador experiment. And in this article, they even mention, this idea that, what if other countries see that it is a success? Will they decide to jump on board as well? Essentially stuff that I've talked about on this channel, but just today, yesterday, almost 22 hours ago, Cointelegraph has now also published an article speculating the same. Chris Larsen also talks about China and the global threat there. Well, just the other day, this article came out. Putin and Xi Jinping, they are aiming for a Russia-China partnership against the United States. Now, no, it's not war, not in the traditional sense, but Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese leader Xi Jinping vaulted their growing partnership into a forward-leaning pact, avowedly aimed at the US, opposing America's global network of alliances and seeking to nudge it aside as a sole superpower. With Friday's opening at the Winter Beijing Olympics and Russia's military buildup near Ukraine as the backdrop, the two leaders conferred at a summit, struck deals on oil and gas, and then pledged in a broad-ranging joint statement to provide new leadership at a time it said that power is shifting in the world. So we also heard, I believe it was a couple of weeks ago now, that they were also going to create a system that would basically circumvent U.S. sanctions, a trading system similar to SWIFT. So they would not be prone to sanctions if the Western world decided that they did not like what China or Russia were doing. So they basically said, to hell with you guys. We're going to do our own thing. We are very strong in our own respects. And so we want to create an alliance that excludes the United States and the Western world. The world should get ready for a further significant deepening of the China-Russia security and economic relationship. This coming from Kevin Rudd, president of the Asia Society, a New York-based think tank and former Prime Minister of Australia. Mr. Rudd said, not since the bitter communist bloc split between the Soviet Union and China in the late 50s has Beijing taken such a definitive position backing Russia on European security. So this to me is also very interesting. It's a fairly lengthy article from the Wall Street Journal. I will link it in the description if you guys are interested in reading more of that. So why, guys? Why does it seem like the United States is not stepping up to the plate when everything seems as clear as day? Matthew LANY here pointing out this, using distributed ledger technology for payment directories. This is coming from the Federal Reserve, published right on their website on February 3rd, 2022, so just late last week, using distributed ledger technology for payment directories. And I'm not going to get into this, but again, they give a lot of detailed explanation on why how, the benefits, the negatives. In conclusion, though, and so Matthew pointed this out, the conclusion reads as such: DLT, and it's not positive, okay? DLT allows for a rethinking of how information is kept, shared, and managed. Despite the potential power of this technology, it has not been widely adopted in the financial sector or elsewhere. This is in part because DLT was built for a specific purpose for which there may not be many practical use cases. Really? No practical use cases for DLT? Are you dumb or stupid? It goes on by saying, and where some deployments exist, the arrangements require tremendous resources to maintain. The payment directory and registry landscapes, however, offer areas for potential exploration because decentralized management and use of high perceived value data assets to support a common directory may be useful and indeed may increase efficiency of the ecosystem. The information exchanges associated with a payment alias directory or a business registry could capitalize on DLT's capabilities to promote secure, efficient exchanges of information that result in a higher level of data integrity. And Matthew LANY here responding again, Fed misdirection. So essentially, Matt here calling them out, saying this is a red flag. This is not what they actually think. Regulations are keeping back this innovation technology on purpose. The financial sector is wanting this, but now they're just waiting for the legal clarity, which all goes back to the Ripple XRP lawsuit, going to be a landmark case in deciding how this plays out in the United States, and by extension, how we are going to see the United States at the end of the day play its role on the global stage. Is it going to play a majority role or a minority role? So you think to yourself, why is the US doing this? Well, I don't think it's any secret, guys. This is Biden from 2013. Vice President Joe Biden calls for the creation of a what?
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
So is it any surprise to you guys that this is playing out the way it is? Again, the entire financial system has to crumble to the ground before a new one emerges. Luckily for us, though, XRP, along with a handful of other cryptocurrencies, is going to be at the center of all this. Right now, XRP trading at about 66 cents, just following the spec market, guys. But the wheels are in motion. The big play is just around the corner. The legal clarity in the US is going to be one part of this, but an entire reset of the financial system, that's where we're really going to see all the money. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.